This part, the band literally like. I know, that's why I'm getting rid of it because it fucking hurts. My cup is fine, but like the fucking band.
You don't try it on.
If it doesn't fit you, let me know. That's actually really cute.
You want to try it?
No, you try it first. And if you don't like it or if it doesn't work, I'll try it.
Is that a dog?
Yeah, I'm just like.
Where do you want to sit? Do you want to sit here? You want to sit here? So I can make sure I see
My credit card finally just hit like under.
your glasses match your shirt.
It's not like it's like a.
I can tell you don't know this.
So like, but I go every Sunday for their free like
Colorblind Amber, that's what we always call it.
and then like now they're like I see something I like I just need to get it. Like I never have the order to go chocolate on everything like.
Scott, can I help you?
21 or 30.
You always wash your strawberries.
I hate like those people. It's like I'm wearing a dress. It's like I wore one dress for like 3 of them.
Oh my god. She's hanging out in the school, right?
Literally my Judas my dad's like, well, tell me because I'm like that straight up just depends on how long people try it. Is that one? My dad. Jordan's and it's true though.
Probably 6 nights old
I know, only 2 more things. Oh my god, they're so weird. Are those like just missing a chocolate fondue? Yeah.
Where's that chocolate?
Oh, there's chocolate hummus.
Body language saying it all.
I've never heard of
Just so you know, if you're trying to hide anything,
I never would think.
I can read you like a book.
Oh yeah. Tell me what I don't know.
I can't knock it till I try it, but like, you're like, I have reservations. Dip it in the hummus.
Yeah, there is the orange hummus is buffalo hummus.
Don't get the strawberry.
Maybe only if you're daring.
Thank you.
This is a fear factor.
Don't start with it.
Buffalo?
No, you won't stop. I brought them just for you.
Once you pop the window, you got the literally this guy turned into one.
Okay,
I guess I don't know.
let's begin.
Start.
Who would like to start? So tonight, this weekend, gosh, this is the last chapter of teacher training. 300 these next 3 months. Yeah. So we'll cover this weekend here a little bit. I suppose we should do check-in first. So, how are you doing?
Yeah, fantastic.
Just gonna start right there.
Start us off.
Go girl.
I moved today into a condo with a really good friend of mine. Her and I have been friends for like 12 years. My visits were approved for Adrian, and I will be missing tomorrow morning because I get to give him a freaking kiss.
Yay!
Bring protection.
Yeah, but it's not that kind of visit.
You're so close.
I'm gonna try. It's 2 years and 7 months since we've been in the same room together.
Wow.
Since you've been able to touch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lauren, how long does he have still?
Honestly, everything that's coming down the line has been a miracle happening. Like, we think 2 years at the most, and that's for the shit he did. That's real good.
I did
So,
How long have you guys been dating?
off and on for 17 years.
Dang!
Yeah.
That's many years.
He's my future.
That's many years.
And mind shift. Like, realizing who the hell I am and knowing that quote that our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, it's that we are powerful beyond measure. And yeah, I freaking am. And it's like, I don't know, I had a friend speak into my life, and she kind of said, kicked my butt in a loving way. And it was like, no, this isn't the Lauren I know. And I've been a shell of myself since coming home from Thailand. And a lot of that has been letting other people's opinions of me dictate who I remember who I am, and standing up under my own identity. And part of that has been y'all and people in this community. And I mean, teaching. I didn't want to teach. And I really love teaching. Yeah. I had like 7 or 8 people in an 8:30 class this past week. And I was like, yeah! So, I'm really awesome. And I love you guys.
Aww.
Yay!
All right, thanks for starting us off. Which way do you want to send it?
That way.
Shana.
I'm also doing pretty good. I quit my 40-hour-a-week job,
Oh,
which is weird. My check-in last time pushed me more towards doing that. I went back to work. I felt really uncomfortable. It just wasn't right. Like, the whole environment was just not good anymore. So I had the opportunity to step away, and I did. And I've been focusing on yoga, and it's been amazing because I've been teaching so much and picking up every subclass that I can pick. And then I grabbed.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Love you guys. Hey, I did say if I quit the 40-hour-a-week job that I was focusing on yoga. So it's been great. And then I picked up a class on Peterson, and that's just been phenomenal. It was a handoff by Trisha. She had a friend that was teaching it, and she teaches another day. And she told the director, she's like, hey, I got the perfect person for you. And it was literally just the smoothest transition. We conversed during email for like a month and a half, and then she's like, okay, you start the first part of August. Did you choose that? Okay. And then it went, and it was great. And I've taught a couple regular classes, and then yesterday, I was telling Austin, I did not know this, but apparently my class is an active duty class. It is specifically there for active duty personnel to come in and have a organized class. Didn't know that. So I got surprised yesterday with the NCO Academy, which is like their managers. That's the NCOs. The NCOs are managers. So these lower ranking guys working up to get to higher ranks, that's the academy that gets them there. So they're in this academy, and part of their fitness program is to go to yoga. And so yesterday, I walked in, thank goodness I walked in like 20 minutes early rather than their required 10 minutes early. So I walk in 20 minutes early, and I'm like, okay, this will be cool, I'll have a little breather, you know, no. The director's like, he just has this face about him, and I'm like, what's going on? He's like, so, as you can see on your list, they signed in, all of this list is already full. And I'm like, gonna be a full class today, I see. He's like, yeah, there's more. Oh, okay. He's like, the entire NCO Academy is there. So it was 26 people that I got to teach yesterday. That was the biggest class that I taught, and it was seriously so much fun. Like, I mean, I know you guys know that I get the energy when I teach, but to have 26 bodies of energy coming at you and literally holding on to every word that you say and like, hey, what do I do next? Like, I don't know, it was just really cool. It just put me on a whole new yoga high that I've never been on before, so it was really neat. And then they loved it, they absolutely loved it, and anybody who's actually taken a class from me knows I lean a little more power, so I definitely brought that to them. And they loved it, they were like, challenge. I didn't think yoga was hard. I was wrong. So it was pretty cool. And then there was a few guys in the back that were struggling, but they were trying so hard, and it was so cool. And they were just you know, just they didn't understand their body yet. And at the end, they were talking about it, and I kind of rounded the corner to hear them talking about it. I was like, oh, you know, oops. And they're like, no, your class was awesome, and you know, yada yada. We want to make this a regular thing. And I'm like, yes, this is really cool. So these big old beefy guys were just like into it. It was awesome. So, yoga for the win these last few weeks.
Big accomplishments.
I just bought my Frontier airplane ticket to El Paso next Friday, so if y'all want to hang out, I'm free until then.
That's the day you move?
That's the 23rd. Yeah, so Sean's driving up tonight. He's getting in at 2 a.m. and then we're just gonna have like breakfast and then lunch this weekend, and then he's gonna move all my furniture and stuff down, and the dog. Yeah, and
Woody.
it's smelling bad.
The little dog?
Yeah, Woody. Woody's Woody.
You smell bad?
He's old. He's just an old allergy boy.
They're so cute.
Does he do like the reverse sneezing kind of thing?
No, he just, there's just a lot of fluids coming out. And he like wipes them on my bed, and I'm like, dude, like, yeah, right? Like, come on. It's a shared space. Have some respect. But I'm excited. I don't know what else. Teaching yoga. I'm gonna be head of the FRG down there, which I've talked a lot of shit about. It's the family readiness group. It's the army wife cult. And,
It is.
like it's rough. It's kind of weird. But I was talking to Sean, and I was like, I just need a community down there, and he's like, well, like this position's open. My commander keeps asking me if you want to do it, and I was like, okay, like I'll do it. It seems like a good way to like meet people and like get to see the area and stuff.
And with you being the leader, you can control the environment that the FRG creates.
Yeah. And
That's awesome.
there's just a lot of interesting ladies already. And,
Can't wait for them to meet you more.
yeah.
That's
Like, and then
that's
Sean's getting like advice from his soldiers, and like, remember, your wife doesn't call anyone a faggot by accident. Oh yeah, my bad. And it's like, remember, she needs to shake people's hands, because like one time I was like eating fried chicken, so I was like, hi, my name's so-and-so, and I was like, I'm not gonna shake your hand, like I'm eating with my hands, and he walks away, and Sean's like, that was my boss. And I was like, he thinks it's funny now, but that's just where I'm at. And yeah.
You excited?
Yeah, my last class is Tuesday if y'all want to come. It's personally offended if you're not going.
What time on Tuesday?
2:30.
We're all like, what time?
2:30 on Tuesday, yep. I got prime time classes.
It's definitely still working, but I love you so much.
It's all good. That's me. Do it, Rachel.
It's my turn.
Your turn.
Okay, well, I had a good 3 weeks, just really busy. I had to get Jacob ready for school, and that was just, I feel like that took up all of the last 3 weeks, just getting him prepared and getting me prepared just emotionally and mentally. And so yeah, that was quite the little adventure, going to all the little meetings at the school and trying to sit in those little chairs that they've got for the little kindergartners, and watching Jason try and sit in those chairs. That was fun. Like, that was great. But yeah, his first day of school was good. Jason went with him because I was too emotional. So I didn't go his first day. I stayed with Emma, and then his real first day, like by himself, I did the drop off and the pickup, like in the carpool lane, which was like really complicated with a map, and it was just, it wasn't too bad, but I was nervous for him because Jacob is, autistic. He has special needs. His head is in the clouds a lot, and I just was really nervous about how it was all going to go, but I just really wanted to get him into the routine at the beginning, and I felt like walking into his class every day would set like that tone, and I just really wanted to kind of sink or swim, I guess, kind of see if he could handle it. And I dropped him off, and in the little carpool lane, and this lady like took his hand, and I was like, bye, like I didn't even get to say bye. And she like opens the door and everything, and they just like hop out. And so I rolled down the passenger window, and I'm like, I love you, like, and then she was like, say bye to your mom, and he turns around, and he realizes that I'm leaving, and then his face just like, oh, and I'm like, keep going. Just keep going, and I'm like driving away, and I was looking in the rearview mirror, and he didn't fall apart, he was fine, so that was good, but picking him up, I was even more nervous, like, what's gonna happen. And the teacher has him at the very front of the line and holds his hand, so like he's with her the whole time, which made me feel really safe. Like he's not gonna get lost in the line or anything. And he just had the biggest smile on his face. I was so happy. And the first thing he said to me was that he listened to his teacher. He was like, I listened to Miss Campbell. And yeah, so that's just a relief, just having that be okay right now. I'm really happy that that all went okay. And I kind of did all my homework and all of my focus stuff for this weekend a week ago so that I could just be with him this week and handle that this week. But it's made me really nervous all of a sudden. Like Austin, when you posted that thing on Facebook, I was like, pressure is on. Like I wasn't nervous at all, and I had all my little note cards for like my beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I'm like, I'm ready. And then you post that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel all this pressure all of a sudden for this to be like so good. And I got all nervous again about this weekend. Like I do every time we meet, I just get like all antsy like right before we all get together, you know. But yeah, I feel good. I'm kind of. I don't mean this in a bad way, but I'm kind of ready for the 300 to be finished. Like I love all of you guys, and I love this time, and I love everything I've been learning. But I'm really tired. I'm kind of feeling it now. Like I'm exhausted. I've got a lot on my plate, and that's just my own life too. I like to stay busy and go camping and hiking during the week and yoga classes, and I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of pooped. I'm thinking maybe I need to slow down a little bit and smell the roses a little bit this week. So. But I'm happy to be here.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Right.
It did not feel like 3 weeks. It felt like way less than 3 weeks since the last time we were all together, right? I've taught more than I've ever taught, like ever before in these short periods of week. This week I taught 7 in 1 week, and it's not all different sequences. A lot of it was the same sequence, but I've never taught so much in a short period of time before, and like the rhythm has kind of set in. And then I was just like last night I show up for Sarah's Vin and then Goy's Yin afterwards, and I was just wiped out. Sarah saw me, she's like, Scott, you look so tired. Yeah, 4 classes today. Yeah, I need a little you and Goy in my life today. So it was good. I'm taking as many classes as I teach each week, which is like the promise I made myself. So I've been into a lot of classes, which is cool. Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. I wanna teach my 3-part or the 3 variances of the same sequence. Put a lot of thought into that. I'm excited for whoever I get to work with this weekend. So yeah, I get some direct feedback on that kind of stuff. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for all the snacks. Excited for all the smiling faces. It's gonna be a good weekend.
Hi guys, it's me. I also had a really busy last 3 weeks, and last Saturday I went to ER for the first time, but everything's okay. But basically I thought I was about to have a heart attack, but there was heart burning and my back pain coming at the same time, and also a lot of green tea. So there was caffeine, and we called the insurance company, and all the symptoms seems like call 911. And when I heard that, I really thought I was gonna have a heart attack, so that was kind of scary. But then I was able to like think about my life, because I thought I might be dying, you know, if you guys ever had this experience. So I was like calling my parents a lot, trying to slow down everything. And I've been actually stressed out about this teach out this weekend, but I was trying to go easy with it. And once I changed my perspective, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable and also confidence at the same time. So I think the universe telling me to like slow down and get rest, deep relaxation. This is what you need. I had too much pizza going on. So that was quite an experience, but everything's fine. Basically, everything doctors was suggesting I was doing all of those things. I wasn't drinking alcohol, I'm not drinking coffee, I'm like exercise all the time. And he was like, you have no reason to have a heart attack. So go home, rest, be less stressful, and just relax a little bit. So that was last week, and last weekend and last week I was able to start some classes, and I was able to like practice teaching for this weekend, and I'm starting to getting some follow-up students, and they really like my class, so I'm also getting teaching yoga high a lot.
So I'm not teaching a lot of classes, but I'm teaching a lot of classes in my experience, and I am loving it. I also posted that I was gonna have a job interview, and I didn't get the job, which also tells that it's not what it's meant to be. So I'm also trying to focus a lot more on yoga and like making more artworks and stuff like that. So I'm also feeling awesome, and I love to feel everyone having such a great like 3 weeks last week.
Yeah.
That's me.
Hey guys. Apparently I'm wearing something, so if Austin, you can help me out, let me know. No, I'm doing great. I think we're just catching up with life and everything. Well, literally the last 3 weeks were, I made it to the ER too, probably because of stress with everything that's going on, but it's different. Had the kind of, didn't have the kind of, had the kind of, didn't have the kind of, didn't have the kind of, had it, didn't have, had it, and then we finally signed last Friday.
Yay.
So a week from today. Good Lord. And then we moved, I worked a double that Saturday, and then moved everything that Sunday. Had an interview or confirmation for a paid yoga and mentorship up in Denver, which was just a blessing in disguise in terms of continuing this education, but also getting paid for it at the same time, and getting into the community up there more so, which was really cool. I'm still digesting it all, but she's an awesome owner. I was telling Amber, I got to practice with her, and you know how you get done with the class and you're just like, okay, yeah. Like, you never know what you're gonna get into, but it was great, and I got done, and I pulled an Austin, and I was like, you brought the sauce. I was like, Austin always says the sauce, and that was it, so thank you for doing that. And it was cool to give her feedback too, because she's still growing herself. That was an awesome learning experience for myself, because you know, you walk into a new position. I've been doing the Cambio thing, so when I finally met her, I was like, how's this gonna go? But I'm so blessed with my education. Oh my goodness. I just feel solid, and you know, going into practice with other people, I can find the sequence or know what's gonna happen next. Feel it out, know the peak sequence, things like that. So I'm really excited for this opportunity. I also, on my way down here, got a call back for a hostess position for City O City.
Ooh.
So,
Yes.
It's a vegan
Restaurant?
in Denver. It's one of the bigger ones, I guess, and it was just kind of like, they had the opening positions online, and I've been serving since I was 15 years old, so a good 10, 12 years, so I thought, yeah, I could probably do this. And she finally called back, and so Monday I'll be interviewing for that, and we're moving forward. We really love our condo. I posted we have some questionable neighbors, but the more I talk about it with people about, you know, getting into your first place, it's just about everywhere you go is you're gonna have great neighbors, and then you're gonna have some that you're just not so sure about. So me being the person that I am, I'm like, let's have a outing. Let's have all the neighbors get together so we can all meet each other, get face to face, and so I'm sure you guys will hear about that the next time I'm actually on the neighbors. But Blake couldn't be happier. Lakewood in Denver.
Oh, it's in Lakewood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an awesome, I'm sharing it with select few, so you're only a few that get to hear this, but we're 12 minutes from Red Rocks, and we're like 10 minutes from downtown, 12 minutes downtown, so we're right by the RTD, the light rail,
Yeah.
so we can hop on there, and we've been exploring, and it's been cool, being able to have the time to do that. Blake and I can walk the dogs every morning and every night now. We also don't have a yard, so we kind of have to. But it's been really good. He's been really happy, and I'm still in this like foggy space of a person. So I'm sure next week I'll finally kind of feel at home there. Right now I kind of feel like we're on vacation or, you know,
Yeah.
just in that in-between phase. But super happy, super excited. Excited for this weekend to teach tomorrow. It's gonna be a good, just to teach the yoga and to be with you guys and to be learning this weekend. I'm really excited, so thank you.
Yay!
Congrats on your place.
Yeah.
Hi, it's your boy. Oh man, it's been a trip. Flew in yesterday, could not be happier to leave. But it was good being there. I mean, it's me realizing like I have to be two separate people when I'm there and when I'm anywhere but there kind of thing. And it's a lot to keep up because I mean I was really only there. It's like, okay, I don't have to pay rent. I can have a car that I can that I can know that I can go on pills. Like, to be honest. I'd be pulling that whip, aka the 2002 Honda Odyssey. So, I'm sorry. I got off of like my ADHD meds completely that I've been on for since second grade, and I actually feel really good about it. And I told, honestly, I've just been so much better at being able to speak my truth and not stutter on my words. And because I think for a while it was always just anxiety that I was like, okay, I think something and I start saying something and then I'm all vata, and I would just be like, oh, look, a rabbit. My brain just can't stand one piece of thought. And I think it was because of the anxiety and realizing that anxiety coded, was the reason for all of the things in my life, the sleep disturbances and ADHD and bipolar and all of those things. It was just anxiety, and that's just how it manifested. And I've been able to work on so many things. And the one thing that I really have been working on, but it's just been the main problem is just my relationship to sleep. And I've been working on it, but it's still, sleeping indoors is really freaking hard for me. And I've been working on it, but I just don't let myself sleep. But that's a whole other thing, and that's why I like being outside and stuff. But yeah, and I've been just speaking my truth so much more with my family, and it was cool being able to talk to both my parents, and it was cool because I talked to my dad, and I mean, in such a real kind of way, and him telling me things that he was always scared to even tell my mom, because my mom, he just didn't get it and was never emotional and never, he told me about his first love. And he never could tell my mom because my mom was just I don't want to hear about it, kind of thing. The first woman who broke his heart and all these things, and it was just being able to talk to him and have that and just crying hysterically whenever he would say something, and because it was just we've always been the same kind of person. And I told him yeah, I get everything from you, and we both get everything from my grandma, from his mom, and yeah, just being able to see the lineage of things has been really cool, and where I get all the things from, and realizing I'm nothing like my mom, and that's why she terrified me, because she was always just she didn't, and it made me just so emotional when my dad was saying she just didn't, she wasn't capable of, or she's not capable of raising you in the way that you need to be raised, and that kind of thing. And I just told him things that I never thought that I would end up talking about, and I think a lot of it was he was asking questions, so I told him about assaults and that happened in the past, and I wasn't planning on ever telling him, and he was and how that affected me, and how I'm okay and I don't need him, all the nitpicky kind of things, and because I didn't want to tell him, because it's he's my dad, and I didn't want him to, because I knew that he'd react with anger, and sorry, I'm just going talking right now, but and I talked with my mom, and it was always really hard just with the stripping and everything, just because I knew that, when someone just looks at you you're just I didn't want her to know, just 'cause then she would, both of them would look at me oh, that's what you do, we all have we all think we know what like strippers and sex workers are like, and she always made me feel so uncomfortable about it, and it was cool because I was able to talk to her, and actually, like, that was the first time I saw, like, either of them really crying. Like, I was just having conversations. I was like, I'm not gonna pretend like, for once in my life, I can have a conversation with them without, like, running away and being like, well, I don't know, like, you know, because my mom tends to be very defensive about things, because she's like, well, that's not my problem, and it's like, well, no, I'm not blaming you. This is just kind of like how I see it. I'm not trying to pick an argument, and I've been a lot like that lately in terms of like, I'm not trying to pick an argument, this is just how it is. And so that was cool being able to see that and like tell them that, I don't know, like the stuff that they're going, it was even cool. Like my mom was dropping me off at the airport, and she was like, yeah, I was like listening to this thing on like NPR about like these strippers and like their perspective on things. I'm thinking I'm gonna buy the book, and it's like, oh, thanks, that's cool. And like she's not like talking to people about, like she used to, I think when she first went out, she was very much like, oh, like you're doing that, like just disgusted kind of, but now she's like, she kind of understands that like it's more than that, and it's like, yeah, so that's been cool. I made some money, put some money in the bank, so that's good. Sold a painting, so that's good. Yeah, but like he gave me like $1,000 for like this painting, and it was like this tiny landscape painting. I'm like, thanks, Randy. You're an amazing. Yeah. Sorry, I could keep going, but I don't want to feel like that. But things have been good, and I don't really know what I'm doing next, but it's gonna be good.
Are you gonna hit Wyoming before the winter?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit Wyoming
before the winter
hopefully. Yeah, but I'm tempted to go back to Alaska. I had this thought when I was camping in that park across the street. I was like, I shouldn't be having this thought, but I want to go back to Alaska in the winter, and that sounds like a crazy idea. But
It's amazing in the winter. Don't
Yeah.
let it scare you.
I know, but I want to, and then crazy things. And my parents
You
might
can see
have
the
to sleep
northern
in
lights.
the-
I was gonna
say,
Yeah.
just for the northern lights.
Yeah.
You might have to sleep.
If the sky is clear, you
Yeah.
almost always see them.
Also,
if you're in
people take
Anchorage.
people's money, like, once the
Well,
PF
she
comes
wears
out,
make a
like,
bagel.
that, once they get their $2,000 check in the mail in October, you know who's gonna be taking that. I know. Okay, that's it. It's been a fun time. I'll be here all week.
I can just like listen to you keep going.
I could just like keep going. You know?
I'm good. I'm super tired. This heat is like just it's killing me. Like it's not killing me, but it's just got me very like immobile. Like I spread out on my couch today with 2 fans on me, and I was like, oh, this is happening. I'm gonna take a nap, and it's gonna be epic. And I just was tossing and turning. It was just too hot. But like I feel like if I were to go back to New York, I haven't been there in so long that like. I don't think I can handle it there either. You know, I'm not East Coast enough anymore. And so we've got kind of like a odd, peculiar living situation with my landlady and such. So long story short, some of you guys are privy to it. We started the process to buy a house. So we're gonna plant some roots. If I guess, you know, if that's
Buying here locally?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I know a realtor.
I have one, but thank you. Sorry, Janine gave it to me.
My friends. Be quiet if you're happy so.
So, and it worked out really well. It's such a small world because the 3 lenders that she gave me the names, the middle one was a gentleman that I spoke to 3 years ago before we moved into this house. We just had to take care of some debts, and my husband's credit wasn't high enough, so we couldn't use the VA loan, but now it's all reversed. So he still had all of our stuff, and it was just like the ball just started rolling. So that's exciting. Well, I don't really want to do any of that part. I just like to look at the houses, you know, and say, but babe, just see beyond the, you know, the bright hot paint wall. You know, it's fine, spray paint that, you know, or something. I've really tried to find a healthy balance between like projects at home, doing yoga, doing Vicky time, and then just like everything else I'm doing. So I started painting the inside of the house, just even like the trim and stuff. You know, little things like that just brighten it up. I never realized, oh shoot, you just get used to looking at the walls the way they are when you move in someplace, you know what I mean? And yeah, so I went to Lowe's the other day. I spent $100. I bought myself like 6 or 7 plants for my living room.
Nice.
So now, well, 6 or 7 plants is huge, especially if I can keep them all alive. So it's more like a jungle right now. Like, it feels good. Still doing my Avianga, just, you know, the oil. I'm really surprised that I haven't broken out the way I thought I could have. Like, I was like, this is gonna go one of 2 ways. We're gonna see what's gonna happen. Otherwise, everything's good. I've not been, so I'm kind of stressed about teaching meditation tomorrow afternoon. But it's like, if I watch another video one more time, if I go over my nose one more time, like, I'm just gonna stress myself out. Like, already more. And like, what's gonna be is what's gonna be, you know? So, there's that. Yeah. And, I met this teacher. I sold her something on Facebook, and she started talking to me, and has asked me if I would be interested in working with children, like morning pranayama, and then afternoon asana. And then I was like, well, what about the teachers? You know, like, so we can do. What about the teachers? Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see if that goes, you know. But like, I'm just trying not to. Sorry, I'm doing this a lot because I had a box fan fall on my head. Oh, it really hurt. And now, like, you know, when you lose a tooth and you can't stop sticking your tongue in that hole. It's like me with this lump on my head. But yeah, everything's good. Less asana, but I find that the asana that I'm doing at home is longer and it feels like way better quality. So when I couldn't fall asleep today, I'm like, I'm gonna go do some yoga. Like, I'm gonna fall asleep in Shavasana. No, it didn't work. But it felt good. I feel strong. And yeah, I don't have, you know, thankfully anything to complain about.
This is
Crazy.
I think you also have like the Shanti Shanti crowd or something.
Oh,
Like, it's like,
they're
so radiant.
You just made me had a revelation that when I couldn't sleep last night, I should have done yoga. I laid in bed for probably like 2.5 hours. Yeah, side note, I'm all moved into my place, not side note, but I'm all moved into my place, and I have a yoga room, and I'm like, oh, no excuses, but I finally used it for the first time the other day, in the first 3 weeks, or in 3 weeks. So that was really cool, but then I was like so sleepy from Shavasana that I like ended up napping like all day.
Nice.
So that was kind of bad actually, because I slept through like work.
Yeah.
Working from home is cool until you sleep, and then like, it's bad. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been able to sleep at night. I have gotten like so much energy at like 8, 9, 10, 11, but like I'll sleep like all day. It's really fucking weird. It's probably the heat, honestly. No, you're good. It's probably the heat, but no, I've been really good actually. I played hooky from work today, so that was cool. Hannah from 200 Hour, we went to Paradise Cove, and we went and like adventured off and like talked, and it was really good. And we found like freaking crab skeletons in like this creek, like up by Fluorescent, and it was really crazy. It was like, what the frick, crabs up here? Like what? So it was really cool. It was good. When she invited me to go, I was like, no, I have work, and then I was like, I haven't taken a sick day the whole 1.5 years I've worked here, so I totally was like, yeah. And then I made my Instagram private, so if anyone tried to stalk me, they couldn't see. I posted a picture, so it was good.
The trail.
Right, the trail, 21st century. But yeah, it's been good, and yeah, everything's good. I can't really think of anything bad. I'm just overwhelmed, but like life goes on. And I don't know, going on that hike today made me realize that like I really want to move to Hawaii and like be a young person. But like,
As opposed to what?
well, I feel like if I'm gonna leave this like desk job in like 10 years, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck am I doing? But also like, it's really good money. I can work from home, and like my condo, I'm not paying rent right now, so I feel like the universe gave me this condo for a reason, and so I need to ride that out at least, and then I'll go from there, which is fine. And I don't know, I need to trust the universe. That sounds really lame, but I don't know if I believe in God, so I can't really say trust God, but I trust something other than myself. So it's good. But yeah, everything's good. Thanks.
we just have to keep it up, all the
Pressure's on.
positivity, but it's like, I don't know if there's ever been a check-in in any teacher training ever that I've been at where everyone's like kind of glowing and it's just so much sparkly, good energy. Like, wow, that's neat. That's cool. Harness that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah,
we'll
we're good.
see. We'll
We're
see
good.
what
We're
happens. I'm good. A couple of things. Like I had this epiphany. I was telling Austin, the building, because you know it's always kind of floating here in my mind. For the second location, it dawned on me that if there hadn't been this weird series of events that caused us to believe we had the right zoning, we wouldn't have bought it. And I really believe that happened for a reason. I think it's going, like I'm already like, oh, I can't imagine not, like it just feels like it is the right place for it. And so even though the zoning stuff's been like crazy, if we had not had the confusion around the zoning, it wouldn't have happened. So that somehow gave me this weird confidence and good feeling about it. And then last night, so my mala that I've been using pretty much regularly since since we bought the building actually, and a lot of my mantras around just, I don't know, good intentions with it and things like that. And last night I got this, I usually forget to do this, but I was like, oh, I'll set out my crystals and stuff for the full moon. And then I was like, oh, and I'll put my mala out there. I went out today, my mala's gone. And I'm like, I feel like it's just tired. It's like whatever energy was going into that, it's moving on and it's good. Like things are changing. Because the time I put it out at night, none of my neighbors were up or in their backyards. No one could have seen where I put it. I put it in a pretty inconspicuous spot. And it's kind of a brownish color mala, so it would have, so I don't think someone got in my yard and took it.
Squirrel.
Maybe a squirrel. I've had a monkey. I had a monkey take one in India.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah, no, but one took one in India, and we actually got it back. That's a whole other story. So it might have been a squirrel, I don't know, but it just felt like today is the last day for people to turn in comments, our neighbors at the building to turn in comments to the zoning people. And so I just feel like, well, today was the last day, the mall is gone, like I feel like things are moving.
I don't know, you have to change your mantra now.
Yeah.
You don't use those anymore.
I might use the mantra, but I have no choice about the weeds. Oh, well, the mantras are always good ones. They're not, I'm not going to get superstitious about my good mantras. Because they're good ones. It's Ganesh and Lakshmi. The other thing that I'm excited about, Austin and I are doing training, taking one for going to be students again. So I got my yoga therapy certification 2 summers ago and haven't done much since then, kind of because I needed it too. But we're taking this 300-hour online yoga philosophy course. It's going to take a year. And there's a couple of teachers who, one of them in particular, she is one of my favorite writers of all time, yoga writers. I love Sally Kempton, and she's one of the teachers. And we decided to take the plunge kind of without, we didn't decide, we didn't think about it, we just did it. And so that's exciting and might start, you know, the feeling scary and a little like, oh my gosh, the financial, the time, all that. It starts September 9th, I think.
Are you guys gonna like do it together?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. Little dates.
I'm sure
We
we
do
will.
we like our work dates.
Yeah, we have
We
fun
try to
work
do
dates.
those,
Yeah, so that's fun, and it feels good to be. I've been feeling this like I'm ready to learn again. I'm ready to be the student again. I feel like you get something done, then you let that settle, and then you start to come back to that. Like, okay, time for some of that good stuff. So, and we're both such geeks about yoga philosophy.
Oh, nothing. Can't wait to
Couldn't
talk.
tell.
We didn't
You guys
know,
didn't know.
yeah. So it'll be fun. I mean, and there's always more to learn about it. So, yeah. So that's it.
So that's where I'm starting. Yeah, I've been kind of in this place where I've been wanting to learn for a while. Yeah, I finished my 300 hours 4 years ago. I don't even know when. But it's been, yeah, I was telling Erica this week, I was like, yeah, one of my college degrees. She's like, wait, how many college degrees do you have? I was like, I have numerous. And then I was thinking about it, I was like, I've been a student pretty much my whole adult life. And then the last 3 years, you know, I kind of like get the thing, and then I take a couple years off and go back. So now it feels like a good time, and things were kind of gearing up. Like right before Amber suggested this, I just so happened to like buy this online guitar lesson thing from this guitarist from Lady Gaga, which is really funny. It's totally like funk guitar, and it's just been super fun to learn from him. It's like taking guitar lessons from, you know, a guy who's played the Super Bowl, so it's like really cool. And at the same time, I've also put like Duolingo on my phone because we're getting ready to go to Mexico in November. So I've been brushing up on my Spanish because I took Spanish in college, but it was never as good as Laura. So I got her on it too. And like the other night, she was looking at like what level I'm on, and she was like, "Oh, I'm on this level." Down here, we're like, okay. Like we're on the couch next to each other, and they'll be like, and I'll be like, "Juan es no bueno." You know, that was like the sentence, and she's like, "Vosotros necesito platicar." And I'm like, you're at a different level, aren't you?
The rest of the conversation, you have to speak in Spanish.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so I've been, but it's like, I've been wanting that for a while, and it feels like there's space for it, so it's like coming in, you know, there's like, I've been inviting that energy for a while, and it feels like it's finally kind of here. This last month was cool. August 11th was kind of a weary day, because on a good note, it was a yin-yang day. Like on a good day, 2 years ago was when we bought our house in August, so that was really cool. But then the same day last year is the day I broke my elbow.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
Throw some Catholicism. It's the Feast of St. Clair. It's August 11th. Just
what's that?
The feast of, just so you know, because my grandma called me. But yeah, it's the Feast of St. Clair, August 11th.
What is that?
The feast day of St. Clair. So it's her day of celebration.
What's she the saint?
What she's the patron saint. Sore eyes.
Your eyes hurt. You're like, oh, my eyes hurt.
I don't exactly know exactly.
Did you do this when your grandma called? You go.
But that's just a fun fact for you for August 11th. So
is that who you named after?
Probably. And Irish and yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. But it's a good day. It'll become a good day for you.
Yeah. Oh, it was fine. It was good. That's about it. I mean, I'm glad to be here. I'm really excited about this weekend. I think these last 3 months are going to be a lot of fun with you all. So this is the time where it's been kind of like, you know, it's a bit like the first 3 months is a little bit of like prep. It's just all prep work. It's like, you know, tilling the earth of your life. And then, you know, the next 3 months, it's kind of like deconstruction of a lot of that, even more so. You know, it's like prep work and to get into the deep work for those 3 months. And then now it's kind of like putting it back together and really seeing y'all take the training wheels off and putting the thing upright and seeing it sail and fly or whatever metaphor works best for you, or, you know.
Or sink and fall.
It's not going to sink. Yeah, so it's been one of those things where right now in my life I'm kind of got to watch myself a little bit because things have been going pretty good. And I'm definitely one of those, like, it's a little too quiet. Yeah, like, where is the other shoe going to drop, you know?
Same.
But I'm trying not to live in that way. I'm trying to just be like, you know, like, I don't know. I guess my narrative in my mind is that, you know, maybe I'm to a place where I've done enough work where I deserve a little bit of good without it needing to have a pendulum swing the other way. And even if it does, you know, the practice of equanimity is, I'm working on that too. I'm open to it. So I'm just, yeah, I feel that's kind of been my word this year, is openness. So I'm trying to stay open regardless. Yeah, I could go on, but you're back. So I'll pass. I'm just real glad to be here. Real glad to see you all.
I feel the same. You guys gave me such a warm welcome. That was much needed. I'm totally in Christ. I cried all week, and my 3 weeks was
not good. It was probably like one of the hardest time periods for a while. That house is finally ours, but we'll get to the good stuff afterwards. A lot of sand scars I've been dealing with last 3 weeks. I've actually realized the other day, actually maybe today, that I live in a little bubble where I have respect and I have power and I am seen as a strong woman. But I had a situation where it wasn't said, but it was felt that like the men are talking, so just sit there and shut up. And that was in regards to repairs on my house. And these repairs, I like damn near lost my mind on this house, man. I feel like I went through hell for it. Yeah. So, and no one wanted to listen to me. Like no one, I don't know. I was the only one like trying to get everything done and everything accomplished so we could close on it, so we can move forward, and that was hard. Yeah, that house, like I literally gave up. I'm like, if they tell me one more fucking thing or this appraisal doesn't go through, I am fucking done. I am not doing anything to the house. I am not calling people. I am not making appointments for fucking their appraisal to come back out. I'm not packing. I'm not moving. I'm not doing fucking anything. I was gonna find a cave and bury myself for a little bit. And that's what I was gonna do. But it paid off, and the appraisal went through. And Abby got into preschool that I was hoping she got into. Yes. So Thursday was our first day of preschool, and it went really well. And I held it together till the end, and then she held it. She was like totally oblivious until it was time to say bye, and then she cried, and then of course I cried, and I'm walking away, and all of a sudden I hear her little happy voice, all loud and happy, and I'm like, all right, she's fine. We signed the closing on the house, so Thursday the house is ours.
Yay.
And then I went and talked to this guy who's gonna start submitting claims for his therapy business. So, and oddly enough, he actually offered me enough to like replace my furniture job, which is what I want to do anyways, because that place is like a giant leech.
Yeah.
But also I'm like disappointed in myself and the fact that like after Shanti, I'm like, yeah, yoga, back at it, woo, this is what I needed, and there wasn't time for that. And yeah, it's been hard. I'm not the type who takes self-care to sit and do nothing, and I got like maybe 2 hours of that one day, which was awesome. So I'm a little stuck. Scars. I've been feeling a little like an imposter, and I'm super nervous to teach on Sunday. I feel good about my sequence, and I look forward to the feedback on it too. So I'm excited for that. But I mean, I've barely been teaching like twice a month, so that kind of sucks. And then I haven't been practicing like I want to either. So I just, I don't know. This was the first weekend I was like, I don't want to go. It totally like crossed my mind that I'm just gonna lay in bed and not go tonight. And at 4:30, I'm like getting cleaned up to come here, and I was like, well, Amber's teaching restorative, and I get to see your guys' lovely faces, and I get to learn, and I love the yoga, and I love all this stuff, and so I got all excited. Yeah. So, and Sunday, I did worst case scenario. What's the worst that's going to happen? Well, I'm going to trip over my words the whole time and get, harsh feedback, and that's worst case scenario. So, suck it up, Buttercup. So, I'm excited for this weekend, and I'm kind of feeling the same. It is what it is, and it's coming together. I'm still working on it, I'm not going to lie. Like this weekend, after this weekend, I feel like I can just like, whoo, and just melt, and I can have some time for myself. And, I don't know, it's been a good learning. Yeah.
Do you want a hug?
Sure. Give me a hug. But it's definitely been learning about like my relationship with Uncle John of all people. And even he said something this morning that was all like, wow, I should sit down and shut up because I'm a good 50s woman. Not a good 50s woman housewife. So, but I was just like, wow, really? Okay. So yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
glad
so
to be
glad
here.
you're here.
Glad to be here.
I mean, because it can, when you've already kind of decided, I'm just not going to do it, then to like get yourself together to then do the thing can be so hard. So good job. We're so glad you're here.
And like I said, I walked in and you guys were just like, hey, you look great. I'm like, oh.
Aw.
And I was totally like, I don't care. I'm really comfortable. I'm hot. I'm never going to wear this dress and I like it. And I'm wearing it.
Hell yeah.
Love that dress.
It's a power dress.
Yeah, that's my check. And now I'm happy to be here and I'm thanking you guys. Because, yeah, the boulder's gone. There's still some rocks, but the boulder's gone. So, yeah.
So yeah, I don't want to do chanting on Sunday. I don't want to teach my sequence tomorrow. What else? Other than that, life is really good. I think I have my sequence down. I don't know. I'm going to use notes because I just am struggling like there is no tomorrow to like memorize it. It's like really hard, and it just reminds me of being in 200 hour and trying to remember the 26 poses and everything that I have to do with it, and it's just like a repeat of that. But I was more excited about that because it was hot yoga and that is my first love. But I have like, I taught it in, I do teach vinyasa and at my community center, so like nobody watches me. So I kind of do whatever I want. Close hip, whatever. So Lord dinged me out, we went over the thing, anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm starting to practice the sequence, and I'm like, oh my god, I have it memorized a little bit up to like the Warrior series. Yeah, that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know you call it different. Is it that?
The Warrior.
Okay, good. Is that some beat? Yeah, no, I'm not doing Sons. So I was like, wow, I taught it, and I felt really good about it. I was like, that's nice, but then I'm like, I don't want to teach it in front of you people, because you actually know it, and those people don't know it, and they're just happy that I'm there. And so like, I'm like, yay. So can I have somebody like nice?
Who would not be nice?
Please don't make it YouTube. Just don't make it YouTube. That's all I'm asking. Don't make it YouTube.
Wait, are
That's
you guys
it.
gonna be someone's partners?
There's
No.
another number.
Okay, you guys are just watching us, right? You're not participating?
They're going over. They're going around Rachel over the edge.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
We'll
We'll talk about it in a minute.
But other than that, I had a really great 3 weeks. I've just been doing a lot of self-care, which has been all that I've been teaching a lot, and it's just so good to teach. I can teach like all the time. Like I really can. One person, 50 people, I don't really care how many people are there. I just get my tank filled by teaching, which is really good. And my daughter surprised me and came home Wednesday. She lives in Houston. Huh?
She's still here?
Yeah, she leaves tomorrow. So she was like, oh, I have 4 days, nothing to do. So I'm like, hey, let's go see Mom. She brought me a singing bowl for my birthday. And then she complained how I played it. Why do you hit it so hard? Because it's me.
It's me.
I'll practice. But no. So I don't know. So it's been a really good 3 weeks. I think Shanti just set me off on a different path. I shouldn't say a different path. I should say the original path. Because I just keep finding that I circle back to like where life started, so to speak. Like it just starts making sense. Like, oh, so that's why that happened, you know, in 10th grade or when I was 12 or whatever it is. And so it's just weird how it just like keeps coming back. It's really nice. It just, I don't know, it just allows me to settle into who I am and not give a shit what other people think. So, except for when I'm teaching vinyasa. But whatever. or the intro on Sunday. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be great.
I'll just sit there and just like cry. Do the whole thing.
You guys know what to do.
People always
Just do it.
You know what comes next. No,
Just do whatever feels good for your
Exactly.
For a little bit.
This will be a really personal sadhana. Really personal. I'll go into the corners and do your thing. No, I'm doing really good. I'm really happy to be here.
So something to share about Janine is Angela has been trying to go to hot classes for like forever.
I keep killing her.
Janine is the only hot teacher that she went to see a second time, and she still died in Janine's hot class.
But it was not my fault.
It was not Janine's fault.
I am not
no.
killing the students, I promise.
I know, it's.
More,
not-
it's the nature of the beast.
Angela just,
More
just-
feedback.
she tried, and she was the only teacher that she would go see a second time. And she's like, all right, I'm never going back ever again.
She just can't do hot.
Nope.
She really can't. Although I really think, I think Morgan's warm fusion, I think she would be fantastic at
Yeah,
that one.
it's the
I
fusion,
really
it's
do.
the fusion sequence.
Well, hey, we got a lot to cover, so Claire, get your word in real quick and then.
I was just gonna say, after our saw night, we had both taught that new student. I had reached out to you, and and you actually taught her. Alicia Hart is her name.
Oh, yeah.
Probably everyone's might have run into her now because
She's
she
here
went to
every day.
one. I substitute your class that night, and she just, oh, this is my first time, loved it. Then went to Janine's and had a fun hot class.
Oh.
That was her feedback. She was like, it just wasn't traditional, and I was like, loving the music, and then I was sweating, and kicked my ass, but it was a great class, and I was like, that was the feedback she gave me again. She did it, and then she kept coming back. So now we have a huge yogi running around now, and she's
Yogi on the
Just so you know, she actually is a yoga teacher.
She loves
She
it.
is a
she
yoga
loves
teacher.
this area, and
She
but
does.
yeah, well done on that. That was cool to
Thank
have
you.
come back in.
All right, so let's talk about the weekend.
Mm.
So,
Well, so tonight, right, do you know what tonight is?
Sutra.
Last Sutras. That's crazy, right?
Am I the one that's sad about that?
You're Sutra.
She's a Sutras nerd.
I love this too.
Now, who's teaching tomorrow morning?
Mika.
Me.
what?
Introduction.
Intro?
Asana.
Asana?
Pranayama.
Meditation.
Cool.
And who was adjustment? I heard that word. Leah? Okay. Cool. So we've got that
There he
figured
goes.
out.
They hold the one finger weight.
Do I have to?
Yeah, and then we'll do restorative in the morning. What that'll look like is a little bit of talk, and then you'll practice getting each other into restorative poses, and we'll look at that. So we'll need to, in case I forget to tell you after sadhana tomorrow, I want to tell you now. We will need to, during that break, kind of like steal all the props. Because we're
Between 9 and 9:30.
Yeah.
Are we up here?
Yeah. Yeah, so help me remember that, please. And then,
So, here's what I want to talk to you about. The evenings. What?
oh, I just thought we were doing an overview of the weekend.
Well, right, but I want to give them, because I know that we've switched it on them without letting them know.
Oh, gotcha.
So this is what I want to see, is I want to do a vote. So originally we had it where you would have flex time on Saturday afternoon, which means that Mika and Vicky are both going to teach meditation during that point. We're going to go over theming more in depth. We have some private client studies to go over, and then depending on what else we have, we could.
You're gonna talk about Google Classroom.
Oh yeah, we have to. Thank you. Talk about Google Classroom, and then the other thought was, okay, well. So as we kind of got closer and focused on this, we thought, does it make more sense to have y'all do your teach out tomorrow night for a couple reasons, and then put that flex time to Sunday? And here are the two reasons. Number one, you're going to be fresher. Sunday night is tough for y'all. I know what happens Sunday. You're here, but you're not here. Do you know what I mean? There's a light on in the attic, but nobody's home. So would you rather get it over with? And the other benefit to this would be that the feedback is going to be somewhat intensive for this, and it's probably going to, I have a feeling it'll flow over, and we might need to use some of that flex time for it. And that's going to be, honestly, the most important part of the sequencing. And so I want to take off some of the pressure for all of you to feel like this isn't a pass-fail kind of thing with the sequencing thing. This is really going to be about getting down into the nitty-gritty of what it means to be able to give and receive feedback in a really mature, professional, and deep way. okay? So it's going to be about peer learning. So this is really us trusting that what we've taught you, the spaghetti that's stuck to the wall is done, the stuff that fell to the floor we're not going to worry about, and it's going to be about you all raising the level up with this exercise. So yeah, there's still a lot of pressure on you, but pressure in this way, not pressure for us. We're going to facilitate the thing, but what we really need to see you do is really elevate each other's game through the way that you are a really attentive student to your teaching and the way that you can communicate feedback in a productive and clear way that gets the person to be able to reach their next level. Because this is the big opportunity here. This is like I said, we've been, you know, tending to the fields, and now it's time to really set things right, with the way that we're going to move forward in our teaching. And this is going to be kind of like a big step for you. So the question is, how do you feel about doing the sequencing tomorrow night and then having that flex time Sunday?
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Is anybody devastated by that news? Okay.
I do have a question about it.
Yeah.
So I know that you gave us that feedback form online of what you were looking for in our feedback. You remember all those bullet points that you kind of gave us? I'm nervous because after I practice, I'm kind of like, blah, like if I take someone else's class. So I'm nervous about teaching after that and also writing out my feedback. Are you going to give us time after the first session to take our notebooks and write a lot down before we go into the next one?
Yep.
Cool.
But that said too, and just know this, because this is something like, if someone has their annual review or whatever coming up and one of us is taking the class, you can't, when you're really taking a class to give feedback, your brain's in it a little differently.
So don't.
I mean, you
don't
do,
go.
but you don't, because you want to be able to go there enough to tell them if you can go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you also
Catch
have to
yourself.
step back a little so that you can know that your first priority is to be able to support them with their growth as a teacher, not getting a great shavasana or something. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm glad
Thank
you
you.
brought that up.
Yeah, so has everybody had hang on one sec. Has everybody had a chance to look at the feedback form? Look at it in depth. So it's really important. In fact, if we have time tonight, maybe, I don't think we will actually, because
Can you remind us at the end though?
Huh?
Can you remind us at the end?
Yeah.
Just so
It's going to be really important that you understand what's on there, because that is really where you're going to be graded by us, is the way in which you give feedback. Right? That's going to be the important thing. I mean, obviously, if there's some major things with your sequencing, we'll need to talk about that. If there's some things with your sequencing that's not said from your peer, then that also too. But the big thing is now that you're yoga teachers. You're facilitating something other than just being a teacher out in the cosmos by yourself. This is about raising the level of the community. This is a different hat that you're wearing now.
Well, and really by the time you're done with the 300, you should be able to an extent, teach other teachers. And that's what feedback is, too, right? Is a way to teach other teachers.
And so it's going to depend on understanding the framework of that feedback template. Understanding what reference points and perspectives you're going to need to be talking about with this person. And we're going to do feedback all together. That's the hope, okay? That's why we need that flex time. 2, also being able to give the feedback to your specific person in a specific way that will benefit their understanding of it the most. Does that make sense? And yeah, and it just ultimately just needs to be thorough and clear and really beneficial for them. So, it's going to be really hard for you guys to be like, in the 200 hour we do the same thing, right? Some of you have, not when you graduated, we did it differently, but we've modulated to now, by the time the end of 200, they've practiced taught with each other enough to where the feedback really, they give each other feedback as the final word. We chime in a little bit for anything's missing, but what we see a lot of times is, people go, well, there's nothing really you did this really good, and I'm not really sure what I would say that's bad, And that's not the way to look at it, what was good, what was bad. The way to look at it is what's on this form. You really need to understand, and what's on the form is everything you've learned up to this point in this training. But you need to refresh yourself with it. Because what we learned about alignment in month 2 was 7 months ago. You know what I mean? Somebody was asking me about alignment last week, and they're like, what do you think about this? And I was like, this stuff is all in the alignment document you got month 2. Go back and look at it.
I'm pretty sure we did it with Laura. He was like, don't you remember we did this in my thing? I was like, we did? I had no idea. Sorry.
It's all right.
Just my 2 cents.
It's important though to go back to these things that you learned, you know, like, they're your touchstones. These are not, you know, the alignment stuff, the bandha stuff, all this stuff, it's like, it's a weird thing about yoga, because to continue to move forward, we continue to have to look back. Because we're learning a tradition, you know, but at the same time we're in a non-lineage based school. So we're hodgepodging together everything that's on the front line of what's working really well in current yoga, right? But we're all the same, always connecting that back to the source. Because without that, you know what I mean? It doesn't have its ground, it doesn't have its foundation. And this is your foundation, this is your ground, this is the rudiments. So when you see basketball teams all of a sudden come out and start winning after the halfway mark, and the coach always says the same thing, what'd you guys do differently? We just started focusing on the rudiments. That is what makes great yoga. It's not about reinventing the wheel, it's just about understanding the wheel is already perfect. It's a matter of highlighting, presenting it in a certain way, polishing it, taking care of the technologies and tools that are already available to you that you already know, but remembering them, remembering how to present them, how to use them. Okay, so we'll do a Saturday, flex time will be Sunday, and then Sunday morning.
Yeah, which that would be nice too, then you can you won't have to be nervous all the weekend until, because I know some people are nervous about it, you can get it done. Okay, who's going, then, I know Leah's teaching Sunday morning, right? Asana?
No, I am.
Oh, you are.
Trying to give me a heart
Oh, I
attack.
thought you the reason I thought you were is because you wanted to meet with me, and now I'm realizing it was about this thing, not.
No, it was. I thought that I was teaching this.
Well, no wonder I'm giving you a heart attack. You told me that.
I know. You're trying to make me see Jesus.
You're the one who gave yourself a heart attack just now.
I did myself.
Okay. So you're doing asana.
Who's intro? Who's pranayama? Meditation?
Maybe that's what I'm doing.
Yes, you are. You're right after me.
Classroom. I checked it last night and you were right after me.
I'm gonna double check just because I'm a visual learner.
And then who's adjusting?
Oh wait, Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes.
Wait, so that's Sunday or Saturday?
That's Sunday.
Then we'll talk about workshops Sunday morning. So that is when, did you all see the form I posted? So that's when you'll need that. So bring that. Oh, and if you didn't see it for restorative, I posted some notes. It could be good to have, you don't have to, or you could even just have it on your phone or something for tomorrow morning. You don't have to have it, but it's just a resource for you to go back to.
Yeah, she just posted it like.
Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and then you know how the rest of the day's going. You'll have your flex time. We'll have to wait and do homework Sunday.
Flex time on Sunday, me and Vicky are going to do some meditation.
That's when you'll, yeah. So it's just going to be like a hodgepodge of things, and it'll start with you two. You'll take half.
I just wanted to know, like, am I prepping meditation and everything else tonight, or am I prepping meditation for tonight?
No, you'll be
good.
You'll be cool. Yeah. So okay. Well, should we take a little?
Yeah, let's take 10.
Super good. All right.
Let's talk about before about things that you're doing.
Just your boy.
I have a question coming
So like, if you're my partner and you say, Vicky, I want a partner, then you say, it's not on that moment.
I wish I was a
Also, I was gonna say, I start talking like I'm on the street. Did you do it?
Hell yeah. Because
That's me with the school.
That's how you like crazy drive your family.
The only thing like you know down for dinner is
I gotta stretch a little bit.
I got such a good before you showed up. Right to the shower. That's why I was like, I gotta shower. I gotta shower.
Oh, you're fine.
That's pretty. I feel like it's like it's too pretty. It's like this is like a thought. It like gave me back. Like it gave me back. Yeah, no, I like it.
yeah.
Vicky, did you bring the Corona? No, I forgot. I'm sorry. No, Leah had to go through the house and with her car. Leah, you left all your windows open on your car. I love it though because I was wondering that thing. I feel like I'm gonna shut this week.
I know, I was on such a high.
I didn't know.